Hello. Welcome to what is this episode 12 now of Screambox Essential Picks. Um Last couple weeks have been very crazy with organizing the live event and trying to watch as many films as I can on Screambox to get these episodes out for you guys on a weekly basis. I think starting this week I'm going to be putting out at least two Screambox Essential Picks films because I'm trying to keep up and I want to make sure you guys who are, going onto the service now and seeing all the amazing things that they're putting on there to know what you should be looking out for. So I'm going to be diving into ones that have been on the service for a long time, mixing with the ones that are being added now. And I will eventually, hopefully, get to do full reviews on most of these films that I have been putting on these lists, because a lot of them are really fun, and I can't do the film a lot of justice on the essential picks episodes because I'm not trying to spoil anything for you guys. I'm trying to rope you in and to go and watch these films and to essentially get onto Screambox because what they're doing lately has been phenomenal. We have the Robert England documentary dropping tomorrow, or the day that you guys listening to this would be out on that day. So obviously that's one you guys need to check out. But that's not what's on this list today. The two films that I want to highlight and add to this essential picks list for everybody are two brand new ones that they just put onto the service within the last couple weeks. And I enjoy both of these, and I have found a new series that I am in love with, mainly because I haven't seen it in such a long time, and then a sequel to one that we have started this essential picks off with. Essentially, I think it was on the second episode, is that we talked about the first film in this series. So right off the bat, what I want to talk about is Subspecies. This is a full moon feature that is on Screambox, and this is something that they're going to be integrating, I think, a little bit more down the line. For what I've been told is that they're going to be adding some more full moon features onto the service. And before we start talking about this, there's like a cheese to full moon films that I adore so much. It's quirky, it's crazy, it's funny, it's a bit tacky, but it's so enjoyable. It is the definition of popcorn film, in my opinion. You just throw it on, grab yourself some popcorn, get a nice drink, and just sit back and enjoy the crazy storytelling and crazy just ideas that Charles Band has and what he does with his filmmakers and for his service. And Subspecies is a film that came out, and it was 1991, I believe, that was direct to video. And this is a series that I didn't find out about until about maybe 2003, 2004, when I was really starting to get into horror and renting movies. We had a mom and pop shop that was close by to my mom's house. There was Blockbuster too, but there was also a couple other video stores that would go to and rent and buy VHSs from. And they had this one on the shelf, and it was a while before we picked it. We went through a lot of like the bigger ones. I say bigger because like you talk about them now, and everybody's talking about like House and Brain Damage and Brain Dead and all these other things that were going through these mom and pop shops. Not so much on Blockbuster. So when we couldn't find something in Blockbuster that we thought was entertaining enough for that weekend, when I was staying at my mom's house, we would go to the mom and pop shop, and I saw the cover for this, and then I saw it had to do with vampires, and I was like, oh, let's fucking do it. And we watched this, and I loved it because of how cool the vampire looked, and these sets, and it was in Transylvania and everything. It was so fun. And being able to revisit this now, I didn't even know that this was turned into a series. I thought it was just the first film and that was it, because the rental spots around me didn't have any more. It was just this one. And there was a couple of them on the shelf at the mom and pop shop. Never saw this in Blockbuster. Never. So we watched this one, and I fucking fell in love. And I love this series now. The other day, I was sick from work, and I was, at home, not doing anything. And I realized that they dropped all of the Subspecies on Screambox. So I went through. I think I made it up until about 3, and they are so fun. They have that full moon cheese I'm talking about, and it's so quirky and so fun. So let me read the synopsis. It's actually a couple. The first one is really, really short that I kind of like, so I think we're just going to go with that one. It's 3 students get caught in the struggle between a good vampire and his evil brother in the Transylvanian mountains. So it's pretty much about 2 friends who meet up with another friend that they went to school with, who now lives in Transylvania, and they're trying to document like rituals and practices in the Transylvanian area that they are staying in. And they stay in a castle, and then they meet a vampire, and they meet another vampire, and it's all centered around like this bloodstone. And the second film really hammers in the bloodstone story a little bit more. And the bad vampire is Radu, and he looks so fucking sick. Like, even like his voice is so good. Let me go through the actors really fast. Angus Scrim, which I didn't even realize that he plays the king. And then we have Anders Hove, who plays Radu, who I think does a great job. And I really I want to highlight him so much, because his acting and the way that he moves and portrays and uses his mouth and his hands, because he got the long fingers, and they play a lot of like homage to Nosferatu, way back when, with him using shadows and morphing in and out, and using that to essentially quote unquote teleport, is what I say. He can kind of go wherever he wants as long as he's in the shadows. And I think he transforms into a bat once or twice, but it's really more about using shadows. And of course, they have some of the other tropes that are in here for vampires, like sunlight, and the stake and the cross. Like, they have like a lot of that stuff, but the use of the shadows, I never really saw that much in film when it came to vampires, other than like Nosferatu. And it's super fun. It's really, really fun, and you get to see a handful of vampires in here. And if you are looking for I want to say fresh, but this is an older movie, but I've been thinking about this quote that I heard from Tom Savini, and I think it was in his documentary, or maybe it was in one of the Search of Darkness things, is it's not old if you haven't seen it. Meaning like films, and I stand by that a lot. So this isn't really, I guess, an older film if you go by that kind of logic or thinking like that, but it's definitely a film and a series that you need to go and check out. And everybody says Puppet Master is like the best full moon like series out there, but I honestly think I'm leaning towards Subspecies as my new favorite. And they have other full moon films on Screambox that have been on there for a while. Like, I think they have Demonic Toys on there, which is really, really cool, and I like that one. That might actually be part of the Elvira collection that they have on there. But Subspecies 1 through 5 is super duper fun. I'm going to go to Rotten Tomatoes to see if they have any other information I can throw to you guys. So it does have some scores. So the tomato meter is 83% not certified fresh. It has 6 reviews. And audience score is 52% with 2,500 plus reviews, which is pretty good, I guess, for direct to video. Let me see. Oh, that's funny. It doesn't even give you like the direct to video date. It gives you the streaming date when this is released, and it was June 27th, 2006. We have no budget or anything like that, but full moon movies are usually fairly low budget films, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know. Oh, okay, IMDb does have a score, and it's 5.5 out of 10, which is pretty freaking good, to be honest. For a full moon feature, I feel like a lot of people shit on them because of how cheesy and quote unquote low budget feel that they have, but I really enjoy that a lot. So that's pretty much all for Subspecies, and now we're going to move on to the second film, and I have to thank Boomer for, I don't want to say making me, but like requesting that I watch the first one for the essential picks when I was going around asking people what their picks were. And that's The Barn. And now we have The Barn Part 2, which is like, it's so crazy, and there's so much horror icon love in this film. Like, you got Joe Bob Briggs, you got Linnea Quigley in there, you got Doug Bradley. I think there's a couple other cameos that are in this too. It's so fucking fun. And they have Dossie in there from The Last Drive-In. There's a lot of really, really cool things about this series, or I guess you can even kind of say a franchise now because of just how big. It's like a cult indie franchise is what I'm going to call it. Cult indie franchise. I'm coining that. And it's written by Justin Seaman again, just like the first one. He was also directed it. There's something really special about these films for how low budget they are, but how great the effects are for what you think the budget is. And I don't know if there is a budget release for this film. Let me see. Is IMDb gonna... I mean, because I know Rotten Tomatoes has barely anything on this, because I think it literally just came out on Screambox. Yeah, no talk of budget, but I can tell it's pretty low. So it pretty much picks up. Was it? Let me see. It might tell me. Let me read the synopsis, because I think it tells me. So here's a synopsis. The Halloween ban is now lifted in Helens Valley, and the sorority girls of Gamma Tu Psi place Michelle in charge of their annual haunted house. Why is this only giving me... Let me go to Rotten Tomatoes. It's giving me super short. Oh, this is it. Oh, no, this is it. So this is better. So this is the Rotten Tomato ones, because IMDb cut me off. With the ban on Halloween lifted in her hometown, Michelle and her best friend Heather in charge of the annual haunted house. Unfortunately for Michelle, some uninvited trick-or-treaters from her past come knocking. So this takes place a couple years after the events of the first one, and it does a really, really great job of continuing the story and bringing back the killers from the first one, and also with some returning characters from the first one coming back, and you're like, oh, this is fucking awesome. The kills are great. It's set in a haunted house, really. Oh, Drew Marvick too is also in this, and I love Drew. Drew's such a great guy. He's also a friend of the show who did Pool Party Massacre, and he's in a bunch of other fucking films that are coming out this year. So he's definitely someone to look out for. This is so fun. And if you need a movie that's going to give you the fall feeling, this one and the original Barn. So if you do the Barn into the Barn Part 2, like you're in fall. Like hands down, nothing tops it in my opinion. So whenever I'm feeling like I need that kind of boost or sensation, I would throw on the first one. But now that we have the second film, I have another one I can rotate. Usually I go to the Halloween films to really boost that for me, because I love Halloween so much. And then going to this one, I don't. There's just something about it that is so different but feels so familiar, and I can't really put a name on it. I don't know what it is. Whether it's just the fact that it feels so low budget, because it is, and also feels so straight to video. And I don't know if the first one ever got any kind of theatrical release. I don't think this one is going to. I think it was just kind of just ported right on to Screambox, and I think it can rent it also on, Amazon and whatnot. But we're here to talk about Screambox. It's just a great film, and I don't want to talk too much about what happens in here because it's pretty spoilery. But I will say that if you are looking for that fall feeling and you want to be ported into that time of the year, check this out. And especially if you want really good effects, really cool cameos, pretty good acting, really, in my opinion, for a film like this. It's great. It's really, really great. So I think that's pretty much all I'm gonna say about these two films, and I hope I'm doing justice for you to go check these out. So it's Subspecies and The Barn Part 2. And my viewing order would be Subspecies into The Barn Part 2. One, because you got a vampire flick that is, I don't want to say it's slow, because it's not really slow, but there's a lot of plot in the way. When you got The Barn Part 2, which is pretty straightforward. If you've seen the first one, you know what you're getting yourself into. And you land off feeling like you are in the fall season. And I enjoy that a hell of a lot. Another really cool thing about both of these films is that they are super fucking fun. I really try not to put any films on this list that I think might bore some people, but everybody has their own opinions on everything. But I hope you guys go check these out, and I hope you come over to Screambox and you check it out, give it a chance, get your first month, get yourself in there, go through my essential list, because this is episode 12, I'm pretty sure. So there's 2 films per episode, so you got 24 fucking movies to go and check out. And another thing that's happening this week is we're finally doing my live movie host of Sweet Relief, and it's happening Thursday. So it'll be happening 2 days from when this is released. I'm so excited, so amped. It's a 3-hour event, and the people who are going to be there is going to be great. So the Q&A is going to be recorded. It's going to be recorded, I think, pretty much audio only. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a video. I'm trying to get that set up to have someone there to document as much as I possibly can for this, because it's going to be super duper cool. So for anybody who is local in Massachusetts or Salem, tickets are still available, and I will have those linked in the description to anywhere you go and watch this film. But thank you guys so much for tuning in and putting up with the kind of sporadic schedule that I've had over the last couple weeks, and especially with Dean not really being here that much. I'm trying to really keep the train going and balancing getting everything ready for the live show, and also trying to watch as many films as I can for you guys. But this week there's some really cool things that are coming out, and I'm excited to put them out and for everybody to go and listen to them. But as always, if anybody is listening here and you are wanting to come on here and you watch Screambox and you want to throw a film in here and talk it with me, and I can match it with my own pick, you are more than welcome to shoot me a DM either on Instagram or on Twitter, or even on what the hell is the Slasher, the Slasher app. I just started using that a little bit. So I'm pretty much everywhere. So feel free to DM me, and I'll get you on a Screambox Essential Picks episode. And Screambox, thank you for everything you have been doing with these awesome boxes you've been sending us, with showing a lot of love with all the episodes that we've been doing for you guys. I'm having a lot of fun, and thank you guys so much for being here. And I'll see you, not check you. I will see you on the next one. Stay scared.